What's up? Welcome back to part two of the 4 pillars of a 100K a month creator business. In the first video, we went over the first 2 pillars, which were marketing activities and sales activities. In this video, we're going to go over the next 2 pillars. If you missed the first one, go back and watch it. It's the video before this. Just to recap, just so you know that this isn't fluff, this isn't random, not just making this up. I'm going to be talking to you about what we have done in our coaching business over the last just over 4 years now. Reverseselling.com. It's a real estate coaching company helping real estate agents scale their business. Now, I'm not the founder of this business. I'm not the owner of this business. I was a partner behind the scenes in this company, still working with them. Just kind of helping behind the scenes with some of the delivery side of the, automation, funnels, marketing, sales, all the boring stuff behind the scenes. And so, just so you know firsthand that I was an actual operator, right? I've actually been behind the scenes doing this, not teaching it, which I don't think there's anything wrong with. This is a side rant. A lot of people take a dump on coaches, coaching coaches. And yeah, it has a bad rap because there are a lot of people who have taken a course and then went out and taught that course in their own way without actually applying it and getting results from it, which I don't think is the best thing to do at all. But on the same token, I don't think there's anything wrong with helping other coaches or creators scale their business. Because again, business is people have a problem and they need to have a solution to that problem. And so if you can help them deliver the result and get the solution to where they have the result, I don't care if it's the first person you've worked with, then that's what matters, that you can help them get a result. So that's the key thing to focus on. But again, just to have proof that, know what I'm talking about. So this is a screenshot of our Stripe count, done over 10 million in sales since December 2019. This is over 70,000 people on our email list now. We started a low ticket, $100 a month program for people who couldn't afford our high ticket coaching. And within about 45 days, we brought it up to 50,000 recurring like that. We've booked over 15,000 now at this point, by the time I'm recording this, 15,000 sales calls from our content. We've worked with, 7,800 customers. We've got a Facebook group free group with over 8,000 people in it. A few years ago or 2 years ago, I kind of launched my own little side thing, helping kind of other businesses, what I've done with reverseselling.com. And within 3 days, I made one post in a group applying some of these principles that I walked you through in the first video and in this video. And within 3 days, I did 30,000 in revenue, brought on 3 clients. And so, again, this stuff works. This isn't like theory. Hey, try this. This is what we've done. And in the first video, I talked about, the marketing and the sales activities that are necessary to get you to that level. And then I talked about a little bit of how I'm designing my current business differently, scaling for freedom, how I'm kind of doing it a little bit differently while applying some of the same principles. And then in this video, we're going to cover the next 2 pillars, which are delivery activities and automation activities. And same thing, I'm going to talk you through how we did it in reverseselling.com and some of the things that I'm doing different. So let's just dive right in. The first thing you need to understand is your model. So when it comes to delivery, again, it's about delivering a result to your client. I don't care what you do, what the product, what the service is. People have problems. There's pretty much only 4 buckets of problems that people have: health, wealth, relationships, and then happiness, I would say. And that could be a combination of all 3, but their inner freedom and happiness. Those are, timeless markets or niches, if you will. And so whatever you do falls into one of those categories. Now, how do you help somebody make more money? How do you help someone become healthier? How do you help someone get a better relationship or become happier? Well, there's only a few ways you actually deliver that transformation in someone's life or business. And so what you need to think through is a combination of how can I best get this client the result, right? So we need to make sure we get the client the result, but it also has to be good for you and for your business. So let's kind of go off the cuff here and draw this out, right? So you've got really 3 things, right? Boom, boom, and then let's just see, boom. Okay, horrible Venn diagram, but you get the point. So right here, we're gonna add some text. So here we go, right? I feel like Dak Prescott. Here we go. We got result for the client, okay? we're going to say, you, okay? And then we're going to say, boom, 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 your business. Okay. When you're thinking of your delivery and how you're going to be able to deliver this transformation, you need to think of what is the result I can get my client. Okay. So this is the client. This is you. Okay. What is going to be good for me and my life and what I want to accomplish? And then what is the business that I'm going to kind of create to be able to do that? Right. We can call this the triangle or the Venn diagram of success, if you will, for designing your model, because there's so many different combinations of how this could look, right? A result for the client could be what you're promising. Hey, I'm promising them 100 leads a month. I'm promising them 100K a month in revenue. I'm promising them to lose 50 pounds over the next, 6 months or a year, whatever. Cool, right? How am I going to design this that's going to be good for me, my life, my family? And then what type of business am I going to create around it? Is it going to be an agency, a coaching program, a course, right? So really take a look at that. And the most freeing thing that I've come to accept, it's crazy. It's taken so long to get here. Craziest thing is that there's no right way to do it. Like, we're so influenced by what other people are teaching us. And, when you don't have the result that you're looking to get yet, you're going to put your trust and faith into other people who have it, which is good because you got to start somewhere. But at the same token, you need to take into account you and your life and the vision you have for yourself. Because if you just don't quit, you'll be able to figure it out and design it. So nonetheless, that's the first thing you want to think about is like, how do I want to design my business to deliver this result? Do I want to do it on a one-to-one level? Do I want to create a course? Do I want to have people in a group? Do I want to do it for people? So as an example, part of what I'm doing for clients, I have a bit of a hybrid of what I do. And one of the clients I'm working with right now, I'm working on them with what I would call a hybrid installation. So essentially I charge them a certain amount, in the 5 figures to help put together some of these systems in their business. So I actually went in and built it out. I built out the funnel. I built out like end to end, everything that happens in between. I connected it all together. I built out the automations on the back end. I created their sales booking process. We created the list inside of their CRM. We created the CRM, the pipeline. All right. And we're creating the emails that go out after. Like, I created their lead magnet, built out everything for them. And the good thing is they didn't want to have to figure it out. They didn't want to learn how to do it. They just wanted the thing, right? So I built it. In about a week, I built it. And now I'm going to work with them over the next couple months to make sure they know how to use it, right? It's like a franchise. Like when you go to buy a McDonald's franchise, you don't have to figure out what to put on the menu, how much it should cost, right? How to make the burger. You don't have to figure out how all that works in the sense of like coming up with it. McDonald's has already done that. You just have to go in and learn how to run the business, right? And so same with this. This client wanted it done, and they want to obviously learn how to use it so they can get a result from it. And so that's kind of the offer I put together with them. So there's no right or wrong way to do this. Like, as long as you can deliver the result for your client, you enjoy the life and the business that you've built, and your business can support getting the result, whether it's just you've got a couple people on your team, or you want to build this big team, you can do that too. That's what matters. So think through those things to be able to design the business you want. That's the thing that I don't love about the space that we're in, because it's so easy to fall victim to thinking there's a right or wrong way. There's a right or wrong model. Oh, it's, SMMA is the way to go. Being a coach is the way to go. Creating courses, being what's the new thing? IPGA, Info Product Growth Agency, or growth operator, or growth consultant, or whatever, which funny enough is what I've done, without even knowing that that's what you call it. That's just kind of what we've been doing the last 4 years. There's no right way. You have someone who has a problem, you have a solution, and things happen in the middle to help deliver the solution to the problem somebody has. And these are the 4 things that go into allowing that all to happen. So just keep all that in mind. Now, personally, I like the hybrid model again, because again, I have a certain set of skills and things that I can deliver to clients. And if we take that as like a base, let's do one more kind of quick drawing here, right? Okay, so if we take this as the base of what I can do with a client, all right? So this is all, these are the skills, right? So this is, let's funnels, automations, systems, sales, marketing, right? Let's just call it that for now. There's a bunch of other stuff that I could do, but let's just call it that. So this is the base of what we do, okay? Now the way I deliver that may change, right? Whoops, let me do this. Okay, so how I deliver the transformation could look like this. Okay, let's group this together. Boom. Can I make this smaller? All right, yes, I can make it smaller. Awesome. So on top of this base, boom, we've got this. Check this out. We've got community, right? So we've got this. We got community. Got one-on-one. Got coaching. Got course. Let's call that an offer. Boom. Cool. Awesome. Here's one way that I can deliver this result to clients. But on top of that, maybe what we can do is we can say, awesome. Do you want this result a bit quicker, a bit differently? Okay, I'm trying to make this smaller so you can visualize it, but nonetheless, you get the point. This is something that's going to be smaller, stacked on top of this. Maybe I can have a done for you component, right? So you got to think about your business this way of, okay, what is the result? What are the things that I do for my clients? Like, what transformations can I provide people? That's the base of everything I do. Now, how do I want to deliver that transformation, right? So you don't have different offers or different programs, or essentially whenever you do that, I've got this done for you offer. I've got this course that people can get into. I've got this coaching program. I've got a community. Whenever you do that, you're creating mini businesses in your business, and it has so much complexity. If you can just think of the base layer of what is the transformation I can give somebody, in the sense also think about what are the skills I have, what are the problems that I would like to solve for people, and just even start there. And then say, cool, what are some ways I can solve this? And start to stack your offer. I call it offer stacking. Cool. People can join my community and my group, and then I can kind of give them the systems. I can, give them the templates, coach them, train them, create softwares for them, right? That's a whole other thing that I'll get into here in a second to help them get this result. Or if they want to streamline this, let's take it one more level, right? Let's get rid of this. This is kind of my favorite way to do it, by the way. Let's just pretend that this is this now. Boom. Cool. Awesome. They can get in my community. We've got coaching. I got all the training, the templates, everything they want. Or they want a little bit faster. They want some more hand holding, some more support. Boom. They can get in my one-on-one, which includes the community. Hey, you want me to just do it for you? You want to plug it right in? Awesome. You can get in I can do it for you. Where after I do it for you, I'll help you one-on-one to kind of get the result. And I'll also plug you into my transformational community, right? Think about your business that way. So think about it as stacking, as opposed to, check this out now. Here's what a lot of people do. All right. Here's what a lot of people do, guys. All right. This is what they do. I just walked you through stacking. Here's what a lot of people do. They silo, right? They don't stack, they silo. Just see how simple that is. I just kind of thought of that myself. Like, wow, let's stop siloing our business into different things, and let's just stack it, right? Let's just stack your business to simplify your life, to simplify your business, and to get people better results consistently, okay? So I'll get off of that for now, but that's essentially one of the things you want to think about when it comes to your delivery, which is how you want to deliver. Now, here's some other questions to ask yourself when it comes to delivery. In what way are people going to get into your world? So is it open enrollment, meaning somebody can come to you at any time and say, yep, here's some money. I'd like to get into your community, or I'd like to pay you to do this. Is it, right? So that's like open enrollment or I'm sorry, that's more evergreen. Is open enrollment, think about it as like there's stop and start, right? So, hey, this week we're opening the community. I'm taking on 4 new clients. We're launching the course. You can't get into it after open enrollment, right? This is your window to work with us, essentially. And then the other one I told you about is, hey, doors are open, come in whenever. There's pros and cons to each of those, but you need to decide, this could be good for higher influxes of people, right? Scarcity, being able to collect more cash during a certain time frame. Whereas evergreen, the con is, there's no urgency baked into that model. There's ways we can create urgency, but there's no true urgency or scarcity in the sense of, well, if I don't do it now, I can just come back next week, next month, next year. But again, there's things that we can do to create some urgency that we'll talk about in other videos. Or do you want it to be a bit of a hybrid? This, again, is my favorite. Everything I like to do, I like to create a hybrid way of doing it that has pros of different models that we can turn into a new model. So hybrid would be something like, hey, you're always talking about your offer. You're always talking about what you do, but maybe you have caps, right? So you have a cap in what you do and how many clients you can take on during a certain time period for one reason or another, because it is a start-stop thing, but people can enroll ahead of time, right? Or maybe you have one-on-one onboarding calls. So that's true scarcity. That's something I do with my clients. I do one-on-one onboarding calls with my clients. And so people can start working with me, and we set out a blueprint one-on-one as soon as we start working together. And so I can't do 100 of those in a month, right? I mean, I could, but I don't want to. I'm not going to. And so, do you have a cap, which is then going to create supply versus demand? The crazy thing is, when you design the right business model, you don't have to be trying to, like, here's what I'll say. The hard part with what we've done at reverse selling in the beginning, and we've since shifted and fixed it, if you will, but it felt like with reverse selling for the longest time, we were starting over every month, right? In the sense of like, cool, we did, 200,000 in sales this month. We got to go out and do it again next month, right? And it was this start, stop, this start, stop, this start, stop. Whereas if you had a cap on what you do, and or you baked in recurring revenue to what you do, which is what I'm going to talk about next and what we did with reverse selling, you can have supply versus demand where you're turning away more people than you're bringing in. And you can design your model on, not trying to sell 1,000 people into your program every year or having to close 40, 50 people every month. You can create constraints in your business that say, man, like, I'm going to work with 60 humans this year. Like, think about the freedom in knowing that. So if I work with 60 humans in a year, I only need to bring on 5 people a month, right? Like, imagine having to bring on 5 people a month in your business. Like, how much more? Okay, cool. What do I need to do that, right? Well, do you want to do it with sales calls? Do you want to do it with, DM selling and Google Docs, right? Or let's just pretend we use sales calls. Let's say you close at 10%. That'd be horrible. Let's just say it's the case. Cool. Let's take a look at that. I need to take 50 calls in a month, okay? Divided by, boom, let's say you work 20 days. That's 2 to 3 sales calls a day if that's the case, right? That's not that hard. Let's say you send out 30 new messages a day to start conversations. Boom, 30 messages a day gets all the clients you need. And that can literally take you a couple hours total for your whole day, if that's the type of model you want to build. Again, there's so many ways we can do this. But nonetheless, I would highly suggest taking a look at either putting a cap in your business or looking at your supply versus demand, because when you're clear on that, it gets so much easier and less stressful of not feeling like you're starting over every month or having to sign up a bunch of people to hit your goals. Okay. Now, the other thing to do is, again, looking at what you do. Now, this is going to be another video that I go deeper into when it comes to creating essentially the core content around your results. So a lot of the stuff I'm going to talk about is kind of like a hybrid model in the sense of it's not going to be just a course. It's not going to be just done for you. It's not going to be just coaching. It's a bit of a hybrid between, but nonetheless, whatever modality you choose, there's certain things your clients need to be able to know and get through and understand for them to get the result. Whether you told it to them face-to-face over Zoom, right? Whether you did it for them and gave it to them, or they learned it over some videos, there's principle base core things they need to understand. And so that's the one thing you want to think of. And I don't know how well you can see behind me here. When I was mapping out my offer, I've done it digitally too. There's some things that we can do digitally, but I also like physical things. And so I was mapping out what are all the things that my clients need to do to create a business that'll give them freedom to earn 30, 50, 100K a month in their business. Like what have we done in reverse selling? Cool. You put all of that on a whiteboard or on whatever. And then from there, you start to eliminate and remove the non-essentials. And really, there should only be a handful of core things that your clients need to learn and do to get the result. Okay. And so put those together, start brain dumping those, and then eliminate and refine the non-essentials. So say, hey, if this wasn't in the process, would it break? Like if somebody didn't do this, could they still get the result? The answer is yes. Take it out, right? At least for now, take it out. Even if you love it, even if you want to teach it, maybe it's a bonus or something. But that's the first thing. Now back to this over here. You got to create that core content, and then you can update it as you need to, So maybe there's 6 core pillars in your process, 9 core pillars in your process, whatever. You create that content that's available to all of your clients. And then you update it as you need. Now, all right, going back to, I skipped this one, call schedule. So essentially, if we're looking at hybrid or done for you, how often are you going to be able to, hybrid or done with you / coaching, how are you going to do that, right? In reverse selling, we've updated it to where before it used to be they got the content, they got 1 coaching call a week, and then we added a second, and then they had our community, okay? In reverseselling.com, we added a whole lot of different things to keep that offer sticky. So we transformed the whole offer to focus on recurring revenue and to make it to where people did not want to leave. Like people, in their mind, they're crazy if they leave this community. Now we have all the core content. We're continuously adding to it. In the group, we have a daily coaching call. Okay, so each day is different. Got a coaching call, a phone skills call, a workshop on Wednesdays, a appointment setting, a listing appointment call, so another type of skills call on Thursdays, and then on Fridays we do another coaching call, right? And so we do those calls every day, and then from there we have the available to book one-on-one calls too if they're stuck or they need it, kind of like a lifeline call we call it. So, like, think about that. What is your call schedule? Now, that's a lot. We're talking about an 8-figure company here, so we've been able to develop the capacity to support that with some of our team members that we've brought on board. But if you're rocking solo, or you're like me and you don't want complexity in your business, you can design your schedule how you want to. So think, cool, how many calls a week or a month are going to be sufficient to help my clients to make sure that they're implementing these things? And then just design it around your life. Like I do my calls on Tuesday morning and Thursday afternoon. Why? Because I don't want calls on Mondays or Fridays. Like it's as simple as that. I don't want to have to do calls on Mondays or Fridays. So Tuesday and Thursday are when I do my calls. Like that's how it works. And then design your schedule around that. Okay. And then again, you can have special guests come in too. So another thing we do at the other coaching company, Reverse Selling, is every month we do a mastermind event, and we'll bring in a guest who's really good at something, whether it's one of our top students and we just really look under the hood of their business and break it down. Even if it's the same things you're teaching, people have their own twist to it, their own personalities. Even if they apply it the exact way you teach them to, having other people in your world see someone else apply it and get the result is so valuable and so mind-bending to them. Like, wow, okay, I knew that this was possible, but seeing somebody just like me do it, like, why can't I do it, right? And it busts some limiting beliefs and helps people to see the path to results. Or again, you bring someone on, maybe you're a sales coach and you're Bill Walsh, one of the best sales trainers out there right now. And maybe Bill Walsh, and I don't know Bill personally, but I'm just giving an example. Maybe Bill isn't the best at creating, automations and systems behind the scenes to help automate maybe some of the follow-up or some of the lead generation. Well, what if you bring in one of the world's top people when it comes to the back end, maybe me, maybe somebody else, and bring them into your community, right? And vice versa. I see Bill actually, I brought him up because I see him collaborating with a lot of people, people, incredible marketers, people who can generate leads, like they just pull a switch and boom, hundreds of leads. Well, what do they need? They need to be able to convert those leads into clients. That's what Bill does. So Bill, these people will bring Bill into their community and he'll provide value on his sales process. So it's good for your community because they're learning from one of the best people in the world at what they do. And then it's also good for the person coming in because now they have potential business relationships that are being formed. So think about it that way. Now, how can you make this sticky? In the sense of, in this new world, this new way of doing things, we want the best of both worlds. So in the past, however long since, Sam Ovens, the OG of OGs, well, one of the OGs, there's even OGs before him, obviously, but, from what everyone's learned from one of the sources, Sam Ovens, it's been high ticket, one off, start over every month, right? It's $3,000, it's $5,000, it's $10,000. Boom, for lifetime access is how it was taught for a long time. Or hey, maybe for a year. You get this big hit up front, boom, and then you're starting over, right? We want to shift that. Things are going more to recurring. Okay, we want to stack recurring. Now, there is arguments to be made on both sides that we're not going to get into. I'll touch on them. Essentially, you want to look at lifetime value. If you know your lifetime value of a customer, and let's say your product or your service is $2,000 a month, and the lifetime value of your customer is 4 months. Okay, so that's a lifetime value. And these are on average, right? So 2 times 4 is 8. Your lifetime value of a customer is $8,000. Okay, well, if you know that, well, what if you could say, hey, you create an irresistible offer, and it's $10,000, and it's paid all up front. Or maybe you have a payment plan, they can break it off. By the way, payment plans are not monthly recurring revenue. Payment plans are not recurring revenue. Talk about that in another video. But if you know that, well, then there's a case to be made. Well, if I can capture either the whole, let's even say your lifetime value is $8,000 over a year. Well, if you can capture that lifetime value today, right? There's arguments to be made that capturing a lifetime value now is better than waiting a year to capture it, right? If it's not sticky and going to keep going. So there's arguments to be made against both, but just understand charging high ticket one-off is all designed to capture lifetime value. That's why a lot of these software companies you'll see, especially new ones that come out, offer lifetime deals for a pretty fair price because they know, hey, my lifetime value on this $200 a month software is only 3 months. So my lifetime value of a customer is only, $600. I'm going to charge them $1,000 and let them keep it forever. And then they package that up into a really nice offer and people buy it. And they're like, dude, we've just essentially, almost doubled our lifetime value of a customer. And the cost of fulfilling that software is near zero, right? Like it scales so nicely. So that's the whole argument between recurring revenue and lifetime value, pros and cons to each. But in this world, with what we're doing, especially as a solopreneur or building a smaller one-man business type of thing, or, one man, you got a couple people on your team, whatever. You want recurring revenue. You want the freedom of knowing I'm going to start next month with 50,000 coming in if I don't bring out another person. That is so much more freeing than having, $150,000 a month or $100,000 a month and then hoping you can repeat it next month. You know what I mean? So now with that in mind, think about this. How can we make it sticky? How can we design our offer where people don't want to go? Well, I'll give you some examples. So one of the ones that we did with reverse selling is we create done for you content. So a big part of what we teach, and again, you're going to map this against the things you help your clients do. That's why it's so important creating this core content and knowing the things your clients need to do to get a result, because you can then design everything else of the deliverables around it to keep them around longer and to get them the result easier, more efficiently, in less time. So part of what we teach is the follow-up system, following up with their leads to turn those leads into appointments so they can sign the client and sell a property and make a commission. You got to be able to follow up. Well, part of the follow-up that we teach is a weekly email, right? Sending out an email every week to their database that provides them value, that keeps them top of mind. They were struggling. Even if we gave them templates, it's funny, we gave them templates, many templates, and they wouldn't copy and paste the templates. So we reposition it every single month. We just write 4 emails. Takes us an hour. We write them. I create them. We write them. We create them. We come up with the topic. We create really good content, put it in their portal, and they love it. If we're a day or two behind on it, right? They're like, hey guys, where's the content? Where's the done for you content? They're begging for it. They want it. So in their mind, shoot, they're writing this content for me. I just got to copy and paste it. That makes it really sticky. I told you a little bit about earlier, another thing we do, monthly masterminds, right? Bringing someone in, the special guest I talked about. Another thing we do, quarterly intensive. So in that group, a big part of what we teach is prospecting and cold calling to get clients. Well, it's not a fun thing to do, right? It can be fun when you're tracking your numbers and you're making $2,500 an hour on the phone. You can convince yourself it's fun, but nonetheless, on the day-to-day, it's a grind. something our clients look forward to is every quarter, we get everyone together, we put everybody onto a team, and we all compete. Hey, who's gonna make the most calls? Who's gonna set the most appointments? Who's gonna get the best result this quarter? And then we have prizes. Hey, the team that wins gets some special VIP stuff. We do an event in person every year, what I'll talk to. Hey, if you win one of these intensives, you get to be a part of the VIP activities for free. We're going to do a dinner. We're going to do an activity. We're going to go paintballing, golfing, whatever the case might be. We're going to go throw axes, right? Only if you win one of these events, though, And then from there, so you've got the team winner. Just give you an example of what we do. And then the individual person who wins the whole event, we send them on a cruise, right? Or an all expense paid trip for two. So just thinking of things that can build that culture that I'll talk about in a second again here. Build that culture, that excitement in doing the work that you teach, designing it around making sure they show up and get the result. Make it fun, make it competitive. A lot of people love that. So that's quarterly intensive. And then again, yearly event. So how we were talking about a second ago, how things are shifting more towards monthly recurring revenue as opposed to the one-off high ticket. Another thing that I think is going to become more and more valuable as more and more people are absorbed in this computer, in their digital world, the real world, the in-person stuff is going to become so much more valuable than it may have been perceived as years past, right? The last 4 years, we've been on Zoom, during the P word, the pandemic and everything that happened, we were on our computers. So people want to get back into connection. In a world of AI and automation and technology, it's incredible. Being a human is actually one of the best things you can do. Everyone's trying to automate stuff and have AI do it all. If you can bring humanness into even what you do online, but be more human, be more authentic, and then combine that with doing things with people, oh my goodness. We didn't do one last year. We do one every year. Last year, we restructured a lot of the stuff that we do in terms of how we deliver the coaching. Like all these things that I've been telling you about, we figured all this out mid last year. We restructured everything because we figured out a much better way to do it. So we skipped the event, right? We're like, hey, let's get this done. Focus on this. So we didn't do the event. People were pissed. People were asking, begging, hey, oh my gosh, why aren't we doing the event? We got to do the event. And so people crave that. And these people, again, it's not like, 5 or 6 people, and by the way, even at that, those smaller intimate events, 5 to 10, 15 people are incredible. But I'm talking, we have hundreds of people flying out from across the country, spending money on flights, spending money on hotels to be in a conference room all this time. Oh, I've got a little thumb up in my thing. There we go. It's gone. And they're spending all this money to come to this event and they're begging to be able to do it because it's that connection, that in-person, connection that people are craving. So you're in-person events. I call this yearly events, but let's just rename it in-person events are going to be huge. One more thing as an example is to add a software. So I created a software for our people as a part of, actually, I told you earlier how we launched this membership. We ended up, when we restructured everything, we took this membership, we closed it down actually a few months after we opened it because of all of the things we added in this were so stinking valuable that some of our high ticket clients weren't even getting it. So we combined the two worlds. And we restructured our coaching program to go for, it was high ticket one-off to still high ticket plus recurring, the way we designed it. And so we took that into, but part of this that made it so sticky was the software that we built for our people. So one of the things that our people had to do was track their numbers as an example. So think about what are the things, again, going back to this core content, guys, it's so important. Where is it? Core content. Here we go. Boom. Coming back to this core content. What are the things your people need to do to get a result? Part of it for us is tracking their numbers so we can figure out what's not working. And in any business, really, should be tracking your numbers. Awesome. What do people typically use for that? Well, some kind of spreadsheet for the most part, right? Spreadsheet or paper and then do the math, whatever. Okay. Well, how can we create a world where we can make our own version of that, add some other features? Very simple. I use no code. I used this. I used Glide apps literally to build the software. And I'm wondering if I can show you. Let me see here. Just to give you an example, we ended up moving over to another platform. So I've been playing with this a bit here. So it's not in the full state that it was when we built it because I was doing some testing. But just to give you an example here, so essentially somebody would be coming into their dashboard every single day, and they would add their tracking, right? Boom, here's all my stats. They would submit it. Okay, let's just submit this for me for the day, right? So boom, 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 boom. All right, let's just pretend that I did that. Boom, cool, awesome. And then they would have their own personal dashboard. So they'd be able to see all of their submissions, track all of their numbers. You know, over time, obviously, as people would submit their stuff, they'd have these charts, these graphs, all of their stats. And then also what they would do is they'd come into their profile and they'd create a business plan. So cool. So they're going to create a business plan and say, awesome, here's my income goal. Here's my stats. So we would have their stats in there. We would have some default ones that we're tracking, but then also their own custom ones that they can come in and modify. Oh no, I actually sell 99%. I sell everything. Cool. Boom, submit. And then from there, based on their stats, we had math in the background. I'll come to the data. Let me go to the business plan. So we'd create all this math in the background behind the scenes, right? This app is just essentially a spreadsheet with a good interface over it, built with no code. We'd do all this math on the back end to then spit out the things they needed. Awesome. Based on your income goal and your stats, here's what you need to do to hit your goals. Here's how many people you got to talk to. Here's how long it's going to take you. Here's how many hours a day you need to prospect based on this to get the result. So think about things like that. Someone's going to have to do this. If you're a coach helping people with cold outreach or with advertising, they're going to have to track their numbers somehow. Can you create a simple app like this to be able to do it? Right? And so boom, they'd come to their profile. And then the other thing, cool, I've got progress percentage to my goals. I can come in here and see where I'm at for the week, the month, the year, so on and so forth. And so from there, the other fun part that we added to this was the leaderboard. So it's pretty simple. Everyone's in here submitting their data. They're in here submitting their data, and then boom, all right, here's everyone's data. And again, we sunsetted this app a year ago. We went to a different solution. Or not like last year, we sunsetted it. But like, cool, we can look at all-time stats and say, cool, by category, who has had the most closings, right? Or who has set the most appointments, whatever. And then be able to come in. And the other fun part, talk about competition, you'd be able to come in. Let's look at Robert. Awesome. I'm just a random user in here. I can see all of Robert's stats, right? And I can break it down and go through all of his stuff. And so created the leaderboard, transparency, competition, tracking. And the reason we shifted to another platform, we're going to add all of these other features too and built them out ourselves, create accountability stuff, some coaching stuff, project management, listing management stuff, kind of like a group chat type of thing. We're going to build out all these cool features. And then we were approached by a company who literally already had the platform that we were about to build built out. And we just white labeled it from them, right? It just made more sense. But nonetheless, this is something that you can do to add value into keeping people around. Like if people are building their whole business on this platform and tracking all of their numbers, they're not going to want to leave that. Like that's valuable stuff that they want to hang on to, right? And have this leaderboard and everyone's talking trash in a good way and it's competitive. So think about stuff like that to add to what you're doing. All right. And then again, check-ins are important, right? So checking on your clients every month, every week. Maybe it's some type of accountability thing where this is required. Maybe they come in after you create your SaaS app, or you can build it on something like Airtable or something like that. And cool. Hey, they have to fill out this form every week, fill out a report, and then you get it. And then maybe you reach out to them or have some type of check-in process to make sure they're on track and getting the results. And all of this designed to create culture or community, which this video is getting kind of long. So we'll have a whole separate thing on that. And then just wrapping this up here, going to automation activities. Essentially, think about all those things. What is everything I need to do to generate leads, to turn those leads into clients, and then to deliver those clients? How can I automate it, right? How can I streamline it to where it's efficient, it gets the result every time, it's consistent? Here's some questions to ask yourself. What needs to happen, right? Okay, is it 100% necessary, right? No, get rid of it, right? Get rid of it. If it is, can I automate it, right? So here's something. Here's an example. Maybe it's not 100% necessary, but it really, really helps. Let's say you do calls every week with your clients. Well, rather than have to remember to go to your email autoresponder, blast out an email, and then maybe blast out a text. Say, hey guys, don't forget, in an hour, we're getting on Zoom. We're going to rock and roll. Here's a reminder. Rather than have to do that manually every single week, can we automate it, right? Can we build an automation that's going to do that for us every single month? Yes, awesome, then do it, right? Things like that to streamline and automate your business. Or can it be delegated? This is going to be more relevant for you guys who want to build a bigger business and have team members on your business to do some of these things for you, right? Simplicity is key here. So I'm the king of like Zapier and automations, and I love that stuff so much. It's weird. It's like my strange addictions. I don't know if you've seen that TV show, but half the YouTube videos I watch, if I'm just bored and browsing, I'm learning about Zapier. I'm learning about no-code software, automating things. Like I just like this stuff. And so I'm the number one person guilty of this when it comes to overcomplicating it, or wanting to over-automate. I've had to learn the hard way that do not automate too many things too early. Like if you do that, if you start to automate things before you know exactly what you should be doing, then you're going to have to undo a mess that you've made for yourself, right? So simplicity is super key in terms of your automations and what to automate, and then do it as necessary. So like once you're sick of doing something and you see yourself sending that weekly email every single time to remind your clients, like, cool, you know what? It's super simple. Like, let me just spend 30 minutes or an hour and automate it, right? Now, some platforms that I recommend when it comes to automations, Zapier or Make are incredible to, I mean, we use Zapier for everything. I don't use Make a whole lot, but I know it's a really great platform. I know a lot of people who do use it. So Make is good too, but Zapier I love, just connects with literally everything. And then Go High Level / Active Campaign. We use, with reverse selling, we use Active Campaign just because that's what we always use, so we haven't moved off of it. But Go High Level, that's like what I'm building my new business on. That's what I build all my clients' businesses on, is because it's literally the best platform ever. Like, now you can talk about it more in this video. We'll go into it deeper. But Go High Level to automate, your marketing, your emails, your text messages, your CRM, your website, your funnels, like everything. Go High Level. That's all I'll say. And then for project management, task management, client delivery, operations, these are my 3 recommendations: SmartSuite, Airtable, and ClickUp. Airtable, think about it as spreadsheets on steroids that you can be custom with and build out certain things, and it lets you create automations. ClickUp, think of it as like an incredible project management software, task management, project management. It's like Asana or Trello, right? And then SmartSuite is the golden child. SmartSuite is that Airtable and ClickUp had a baby, and it was 10 times better. Like, it is by far, I'm going to have different content and different trainings on SmartSuite in the future, because it is the best platform that you can use to help run your business, run your life, run like everything. And I'll do some more videos on that. But I would highly suggest looking into SmartSuite. It's the best thing that I've ever used. Okay. And I'm a tool nerd, geek. Now these are just some notes that I threw down here just to keep in mind. So essentially, when it comes to automating stuff, you essentially have a trigger and then you have an action, right? So for triggers, a lot of the times it's, if this happens, then do that, right? And so a lot of the times what you'll be able to use for triggers are like, a form was submitted, a lead came in the system, a tag was added. And so what I would recommend that you do, think of all of the different tags that you're going to be using in your business. So like if a lead comes in, you tag them as a lead, or they filled out this form and then they get tagged as a lead, or they got to this stage in the sales pipeline and we tagged them hot lead, or whatever the case. You got your tags, and then in some of your email autoresponders or Go High Level, like Active Campaign, Go High Level, you're going to have lists, and then, which are lists of people, or you have smart lists, and then you have automations, right? So automations can do a series of different things. What I recommend you do is have a spot where you write all of this down. Okay, this is something I don't know. I haven't seen this anywhere. Nobody talks about this, like how to create automations, how to manage them. But especially if you have other people coming into your business to work on stuff, you need to have all of this written down in one spot so you know what certain tags mean, what certain tags trigger certain things, what lists people get added to. Like, what is that list made of, right? Like hot leads. All right, well, what is that, right? Who are they? How, things like that you need to have put down into one spot. Just so that you can not get overwhelmed, confused, or forgetful, right? And then another example is just having a good mix between automation and manual. So when it comes to sales tracking and data, some of it you can automate, but a lot of it you want to be manual. because automations can fail. Things can double trigger, right? If you want accurate data for certain things, as an example, sales tracking, I'll give you one example, I guess, with how I built my like personal sales tracking system. So this is my smart suite system. I'm just going to show you one example here in my brain. This is where I kind of go. It's kind of like the brain of like numbers. I come in to create a new record. Like I could automate some of this stuff, but like I know for a fact that this happened. Like I could automate from Zapier how many people scheduled on Calendly today, right? But maybe it changed. Maybe somebody canceled. Maybe we rescheduled it, whatever the case might be. And so you want to be able to manually do some of this. And I know it can seem like a lot. These are just an example of different things that you could submit. And it's going to depend on, again, your process, your business model, what you do. But like this takes 2 minutes to fill out, literally. And it's 100% accurate because it's done by hand, you know? So I don't have a whole different training and thing on this Smart Suite platform and how we use it and how it all works. But nonetheless, like that's a good example if you want to also do some things manual. Okay. And again, I'm going to go into a different video of my Smart Suite system. I call it my lab life asset and business operating system. I'm actively building it out right now. I've kind of pieced it together over the years of learning certain concepts and tools, and I'm creating a formal system to allow other people to plug right into it for their own stuff. So I'll have future videos, future trainings on that. But I hope you found this useful. This is kind of a high-level overview. I know it's a lot, but a high-level overview of some of the main things of growing a $100,000 a month creator business, essentially like by yourself or with a couple of smaller team members. I gave examples of how we did it to the tune of 10 million with reverse selling. And then I'm going to make other videos and other trainings, maybe breaking some of this stuff down individually, 10, 15-minute videos, going deep on one or two of these things at a time. So hope you found this valuable. Comment below if you have any questions on anything that I went over. And feel free to DM me on Instagram if you have questions or you're looking for help putting some of this stuff together in your business. I'll send you my offer doc that kind of goes over, you know, what I do with my clients, how we work together, and then if it makes sense for us to work together to build your own version of this for you and your business. So hope you have a good day, and I'll catch you in the next one.